For Movie Fixers, I'm P.T. Hilton, and welcome to my dumb quest to review every Netflix original movie. Today we're going to be talking about Shimmer Lake. Shimmer Lake was directed and written by Oren Uzel. It stars Benjamin Walker, Rainn Wilson, and Wyatt Russell, among others. The movie came out on Netflix on June 9th, 2017, but it has kind of a rich history before that. It was chosen for the prestigious Blacklist, which is a list of the best unproduced screenplays in Hollywood, as voted on by a lot of Hollywood producers. Oren Uzel has also written a number of other produced scripts, most notably 22 Jump Street and the upcoming 2017 Cloverfield movie. But this one is his directorial debut. Shimmer Lake could kind of be described as Fargo meets Memento. Basically, it's the story of this bank robbery in this small town, and we follow the parallel stories of one of the bank robbers, Rainn Wilson, as the sheriff in town is trying to catch him, basically. So that sounds like a pretty straightforward setup, but it's actually not. It's the opposite of straightforward. I guess that would be backwards forward. Anyway, the events are basically told backwards, so that the film starts on a Friday when Rainn Wilson is kind of on the run after the bank robbery, and the sheriff is kind of hunting him down, and then we work our way backwards into the climax of the film being the actual bank robbery itself. It's an interesting way to tell a story in that we know almost immediately the what's of the story. We know what happened. For example, we know right away that the sheriff was shot in the shoulder during the robbery, but we don't know exactly how it happened, who shot him, anything like that. So once we eventually get to the robbery, it's actually very tense because we know this shot is going to happen at some point. So you're always sitting there thinking, when's it going to happen? Is it going to be now? It makes for a very tense moment, and it's a pretty cool way to tell a story. There's lots of funny moments in the movie, especially the FBI agents, played by Ron Livingston and Rob Corddry. If there's a problem with the movie, I would say it's really one of tone. This is a tough thing to pull off. Like, they're basically going for a Coen Brothers vibe here, which is a very difficult thing. And I think, for the most part, they did a good job of it. They got like 90% of the way there. There's a lot of funny moments. There are just some moments, though, that don't quite pay off correctly. For example, there's one kind of running gag throughout the movie where the deputy sheriff always gets picked up by the sheriff, and there's always someone else sitting in the passenger seat, and the deputy has to go in the back. So it might be like a source or like a suspect or something is sitting in the passenger seat of the police car. The deputy has to go in the back of the car. Because of the way the movie is told backwards to forwards, the first time we see this kind of trick happen, the deputy totally loses it and freaks out. Which is kind of an interesting idea, right? Because then we see it backwards each time that the sheriff does that trick. He reacts a little, the deputy reacts a little less so. So we're like seeing his escalating anger about this joke in reverse. In theory, is kind of a cool idea, right? But the way it plays out is just weird and awkward. You're like, why is this deputy freaking out to this degree about this? So there's a few things like that where just the tone doesn't quite land the way that I wanted it to. However, there are a lot of really great moments and a lot of great acting in this movie. The writing, like I can see why it was on the Blacklist because there's a lot of just really funny lines and things like that in this movie. It's very well done. I would say the writing in this is pretty top notch, and the directing is like maybe a little bit step below that. It was competently directed, pretty well directed, but I just don't think that directing quite got to the level of the writing. Overall, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I do recommend checking it out for the writing, the performances, and the storytelling techniques involved here. So that is Shimmer Lake. You can check it out on Netflix, and let me know in the comments below what you thought of Shimmer Lake. Be sure to subscribe to this channel to follow my dumb quest to review all the Netflix original movies. Also, here is a link to a video I did on my other channel talking about some of the writing lessons you can learn from the movie War for the Planet of the Apes. That'll do it for me. Thanks for watching.